In the heart of Lagos, Nigeria, lived a man named Chuka, a 36-year-old businessman known for his wealth, charm, and powerful connections. From owning fuel stations to real estate, Chuka was seen as the man who had it all. He was married to Nneka, a calm, gentle, and beautiful woman. They had been together for 6 years, and she had supported Chuka from the early days of his hustle. Through thick and thin, Nneka stood by his side, praying, fasting, and believing in his dreams. Now pregnant with their first child, Nneka planned a grand surprise birthday dinner for her husband. It was going to be a night to remember. But little did she know, it would become the night that shattered her world. The event hall sparkled with lights and laughter. Family, business partners, and friends arrived in elegant clothes. Nneka, with her baby bump showing gracefully beneath her wine-colored gown, moved around greeting guests. Everyone clapped when Chuka arrived in his white agbada and dark glasses. But as he walked in, he wasn't alone. Holding his arm was a young, curvy lady named Cassandra, his secret side chick. Gasps filled the room, but Chuka acted like nothing was wrong. He hugged Nneka with one arm and kissed her cheek half-heartedly. Nneka, though shocked, forced a smile. Her heart beat fast, but she said nothing. Cassandra walked around like a queen, looking guests up and down, sipping wine like she owned the place. People began whispering. The mood shifted. During the dinner, Nneka got up to give a speech. With tears in her eyes, she thanked God for keeping her husband alive and prayed that their unborn child would bring peace and joy to their home. Just as she was about to hand Chuka his gift, Cassandra stood up and shouted, "Can we just stop pretending? This man doesn't love you." The hall went silent. Nneka turned slowly, confused and embarrassed. Before she could speak, Cassandra walked up to her and pushed her hard. Nneka fell backwards, hitting her head on the edge of a table. Screams filled the hall. Blood stained her dress. She fainted immediately. Some women ran to her. Others shouted at Cassandra. "Chuka!" He stood there, silent. He didn't run to his wife. He didn't shout. He just adjusted his cap and looked away. Two of Chuka's lawyer friends, Uche and Maxwell, rushed Nneka to the hospital while others recorded the drama. Videos went viral within minutes. Lagos big man watches side chick push his pregnant wife. Wife lands in hospital while husband smiles with side chick. It was on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even blogs picked it up. Chuka's name became a shame. Companies began to pull out of deals. His in-laws disowned him. His church suspended him from leadership. Sponsors for his businesses withdrew. It was as if the ground opened beneath his feet. At the hospital, Nneka had early labor. The doctors struggled to save her and the baby. By God's grace, she gave birth to a baby girl. Weak, but alive. When Chuka finally visited the hospital, days later, he didn't bring flowers or show care. He looked at the baby and frowned. "It's a girl," he said coldly. "Yes," Nneka whispered. "I told you I wanted a boy. What am I supposed to do with this?" Nneka turned her face away, tears running down her cheeks. That night, she asked the nurse for a pen and paper. From her hospital bed, she filed for divorce. She didn't scream. She didn't beg. She just signed the papers and gave them to her lawyer. In the months that followed, Chuka's fuel stations were seized due to unpaid loans. His estate business collapsed. Cassandra left him after taking some money and moving to Dubai. Even his friends distanced themselves. He became a shadow of himself. Meanwhile, Nneka healed. With help from kind strangers, her story touched hearts across Nigeria. Women's groups supported her. She started a non-profit foundation for single mothers and abused women. Her baby girl, named Chism, "God is with me," grew strong and healthy. One rainy night, years later, Chuka walked into a small eatery, dirty and unrecognizable. He had lost weight. He begged the owner for food. Behind the counter stood a young girl, about 5 years old. She had Nneka's eyes. "Mommy, this man looks hungry," the girl said. Nneka stepped out from the kitchen, wearing a simple apron. Their eyes met. He knelt down, tears falling freely. "Nneka, I'm sorry. I lost everything." She looked at him, no hate, no pride, just pity. I forgave you a long time ago, she said. But you must live with what you did. She handed him a plate of rice and water. Eat and go in peace. After she ran off to Dubai, Cassandra lived like a queen. She posted photos in yachts, shopping in designer stores, and dining in good-plated restaurants. Many believed she had won. But what people didn't know was, Cassandra had stolen a huge amount of Chuka's money before fleeing, money he had kept in secret accounts, away from government eyes. One day, while sleeping in a hotel in Abu Dhabi, police came knocking. The account had been flagged for fraud and money laundering. She was arrested in her nightgown. Chuka refused to help her. She tried to contact him from jail, but he had no power left. The law came down hard. Her passport was seized. She spent 3 years in a foreign prison. When she was deported back to Nigeria, no friend, no family welcomed her. The same people she mocked now looked away. Cassandra became a lesson. The once slay queen was now selling second-hand clothes in a corner shop, hiding her face from people she once boasted to. Back in Nigeria, Nneka was blossoming. Her foundation for single mothers grew fast. Women across the country began supporting her. Her story made the news, and companies started sponsoring her cause. One day, during a charity event in Abuja, a tall, calm, and elegant man approached her. My name is Kolu Okoye, he said with a warm smile. He was a billionaire tech mogul, clean, single, respectful. Unlike Chuka, he didn't look down on anyone. Kolu had followed her story for years and admired her strength. They spoke often. He visited her foundation. He played with Chisholm. He sent donations without noise. He didn't rush her. He didn't pretend. He loved Nneka for her scars, her story, and her strength. 2 years later, Nneka stood in a garden filled with roses and laughter. Dressed in white lace and coral beads, she looked more beautiful than ever. This time, it wasn't pain behind her eyes, it was peace. Kolu took her hand and said his vows. Even Chisholm stood proudly beside them, calling him Daddy Kolu. The crowd clapped. Even women who had once wept with her now danced for joy. And far off in the crowd, unnoticed and thin, stood Chuka, broken, silent, alone. He watched the woman he once threw away rise like the sun. A single tear rolled down his cheek. That was the moment he realized. He didn't just lose a wife. He lost a queen. This tale, like many from our ancestors, reminds us. Never let pride make you destroy what you should protect. Karma may take time, but it never forgets. Women are not weak. A woman in pain can rise stronger than before. Love that is built on honor will always rise again. The end. Please, if you have watched to the time, subscribe, like and comment what you have learned from this story.